Now, I'm sorry for the sweat. I should do these like talky bits before I play, but you know, when you get to the court, you just want to play. So you have to deal with this. Hey guys, I'm Badminton Becky, an American living and playing badminton in China. Please hit the subscribe button and follow along as I talk about all things badminton and try to be a top player in my city. Okay, so the other day I was walking to badminton and you know, I had my backpack and the racket kind of sticks up behind, you know, kind of like the samurai sword, and I passed by a kid, you know, just a college kid with a soft guitar case with a guitar sticking out of his back. And I caught the kid's eye and I looked at him and I was like, hey. And it was like the weirdest hey. It was like a, hey bro, like we connect on this deeper level. And then I stopped myself and I was like, oh, that was weird because I'm not a musician. I don't play guitar. Why did I connect with this guy on like on a deeper level? Growing up in America, even if you're not American, I'm sure you've seen enough TV and movies to know that middle school, high school is very cliquey. You have your group and you identify with your group and the other groups are bad. To simplify it a lot, you know, there's the jocks and the popular girls who do all the sports and cheerleading and stuff. Then there's the art kids, and then there's the nerds. You know, there's more subgroups, but that's just to generalize. And of course, I was an art kid, and art kids hate jocks. They think they're stupid, and they just care about their body, where, you know, art kids read Proust and talk about Marxism and do theater and play music. I've always identified as an art kid. I have never identified, in fact, eschewed the label of athlete or jock. Art is, you know, creative, it's exciting, it's invigorating. Art is also subjective. Every time a Jackson Pollock sells for millions of dollars, people always question if it's art. I personally don't like Dostoevsky or Dickens, even though they are classic books. Art is very subjective due to personal taste. But sports, to me, when I was a kid, that was just so black and white. You win or you lose. You're number one, number two, number three. Like, there's no shades of gray. There's no creativity. It's just good or bad. So I always understood the artist struggle, you know, of trying to break through, of practicing for hours at the piano or painting and having classes and having teachers. Whereas I just saw sports as you run more, you'll be better. You shoot more baskets, you'll be better. Yeah, there's coaches to like keep teams together and to keep athletes motivated, but they're not like that important besides the motivation factor. But now that I'm an athlete, I see that I was totally wrong. That there is a lot more to playing sports than, you know, just work out more. And even just that, just work out more. I think anyone in their 40s like me can attest that that's not so easy. Being an adult and trying to work out with your kids and your work and your husband and your partners and your friends and everything that's going on, first off, that's really difficult. And second, just because you work out or train a sport, it doesn't mean that you're going to be awesome, because sports are more than just repetition and training. There is a ton of creativity. There is a ton of improv. There is a ton of personality in sports. I mean, sports has so many more shades of gray than I thought it did before. Like Lin Dan, undoubtedly, you know, the GOAT of badminton. But what about Lee Chong-wei? Sure, he didn't win as many gold medals as Lin Dan, but his dedication, his passion, his stick-to-itness, his grit, I think that has impressed a lot of people who actually like him more than Lin Dan. I mean, I know I do. So when you play a sport and you participate in sports, you realize it's not just about winning and losing, that it's actually much more than that. So I think I connected with this kid on a creativity level. That I was like, hey kid, like, you're carrying around a guitar, you're clearly invested, you're clearly practicing and into it. I'm carrying around a badminton racket, I'm clearly invested, I'm clearly into it, and we're both on our own creative artist journey. to be the best that we can be. Maybe this is really stupid to some of you who have always grown up in sports and you've always known this, but I was never that sports kid. I was always an artist. And I, sorry to say, didn't really respect athletes beyond, wow, they can shoot baskets really good, or wow, they can kick a ball really good. But now I really appreciate the artistry of the athlete and how it does take such creativity, it does take passion, it does take just a creative mind to play a sport and to be successful at it. And, you know, now I could almost argue the opposite. I could say practicing Beethoven's sonata is just practicing notes on a paper, that there's nothing more to it. Where playing a game of badminton, there's such improv, there's such thinking, you have to read the game, you have to change within the moment. So I could now argue that actually sports is more creative than some art. I'm still, number one, always an artist, and I still connect to that part of my identity much stronger than I do the athletic part. But I feel like I almost want to change the words, because athlete or jock has such a negative connotation, not just to me, I think to a lot of people, especially Americans, especially if you go to middle school and high school and it's your social group and your enemies, you know, the jocks and the popular girls were always the enemies of all the other groups and cliques in school. So I feel like we should make a new name. How about like athletic artist? I think I'm gonna start calling myself not an athlete, but an athletic artist. So I know maybe some of you I've lost and you think I'm just crazy, but this is all kind of the sports journey of being an art kid that always hated anything physical, and now I'm, you know, super into badminton. Just badminton. No other sport could do this to me. So I am really discovering different parts of myself, and badminton has kind of made me reevaluate my identity and who I am, and kind of some long-held core beliefs about the world that I live in. I wanted to share those deep thoughts with you. It's almost the end of the night. Maybe get to play one more game, but it's been a tiring night. What do you think about all this? Do you think I'm just silly for trying to separate these two identities? And of course, sports is super creative, and of course, you know, athletes are just as creative and artists, and that's never been in doubt in you. Or are you someone like me who's maybe kind of changed your life over the years, and you also have had realizations? Maybe you were more of an athlete when you're younger, and now that you're getting older, that you're turning more into the arts and maybe reading and writing or painting or something. So let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time on the court. Bye.